So sadly, it seems that the Mayweather-McGregor fiasco, the circus freak show that is that fight, is closer than ever to being made. Dana White has made some agreement with Conor McGregor, over $70 million. Now he's just got to negotiate with Floyd Mayweather. Dana's going to learn firsthand that negotiating with boxers is a lot harder than negotiating with MMA fighters. If he thinks he's dealt with, divas and egos, he don't know what he's going to get into with Floyd. But assuming he can get something done, this fight just might happen. And it might happen this fall. Now, by the time it does happen, Floyd will have not fought for 2 years. Conor will not have fought for almost a year. So there will be some ring rust for both of these guys. Floyd obviously is older. Floyd's smaller. So Conor will have a size advantage. But that's about it. Let me tell you something that a lot of you MMA fans and casual boxing fans don't know about Floyd Mayweather. He only signs the dotted line when he knows he's going to win. That's how Floyd retired undefeated. And he's retired a million times. But Floyd fights hand-selected, B-level opposition, for the most part, in completely controlled situations where he controls everything behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. You even have to use his drug testing. You have everything, okay? And that's going to be the case here. So if Floyd signs on to this fight, it's the easiest $100 million he's ever made. And he's going to get the 50th victory of his career. And it's just, Floyd is the best matchmaker in modern boxing history. He knows exactly what he's doing when he signs the dotted line. If an opponent is a true threat, he fights them when they're still green, when they're too young, or he fights them when they're faded and old. He makes them move up in weight, down in weight, whatever it is. Now for Conor McGregor, some of you guys out there, MMA fans, even casual boxing fans, talk about his blazing hand speed, his accuracy with his striking, his knockout punches in MMA. Guys, that shit don't correlate to boxing. Floyd Mayweather might be a great wrestler with his friends in his living room. It doesn't correlate to MMA, okay? They're two different sports. And a guy who's landing punches, or as you call them, strikes in MMA, doesn't correlate to boxing because the footwork is different, the spacing, the distance, the timing, the angles, all of it completely different. The level of endurance is completely different. Being on your feet for 3 minutes of a round for 12 rounds. These are all things that Conor McGregor, he got licensed in boxing, right? He got his boxing license, I think, late last year. Some of you guys have talked about he had a little bit of amateur experience back in his homeland when he was young. He knows a little bit about punching, a little bit about boxing, but he's nowhere near the level required even to fight a faded version of Floyd Mayweather that's going to be coming off a 2-year layoff when this thing happens, and it was never a hard puncher, and is the much smaller guy. And by the way, let's talk about that. Conor McGregor seems to want to make a splash in boxing, but he ain't talking about fighting guys his own size, like Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, guys who could punch, guys who could physically hang with him as far as strength goes. No, he wants to beat up on a smaller guy. But Floyd Mayweather is also the biggest name, at least among casual fans in America. So it makes sense from a business perspective for several reasons. Floyd's size and fighting style being one of them. Here's the thing, guys. I don't want to hear the complaints and the bullshit when you buy this fight and get duped again. Let me tell you how this is going to go. For you casual boxing fans and Floyd Mayweather fanboys who are going to try to turn this into a boxing versus MMA thing, who think that Floyd's going to get in there and knock out Conor McGregor in 2 or 3 rounds and embarrass this guy and, score a win for boxing as if it has anything to do with boxing versus MMA. It doesn't. You're all fools. Floyd Mayweather don't knock out anybody. And do you think Conor McGregor and the people behind UFC are going to sign on to this thing if they think Floyd's going to go for the kill? No. This thing is going all 12 rounds. It's going to be Floyd doing what he always does. Grabbing, clinching, holding, mauling, snuffing the guy out, right? Grabbing him on the ropes, leaning on him, pulling down on him, grabbing the back of his head, and slapping the shit out of him, spinning him, getting off, and repeat for 12 rounds. He's going to have a friendly ref in there that lets him do that. He's going to have 3 judges that score the fight for him. And he's going to win the fight, fair and square. He's going to completely outclass Conor McGregor because as good as Conor is in his thing, in terms of skills, athleticism, experience at the big stage, all of that, he's a pimple on Floyd Mayweather's ass, okay? So there's not going to be this great, amazing performance by Floyd. For you Conor McGregor fans who think that he's going to come in there with a puncher's chance, okay? Puncher's chance is basically a nice way of saying win the lottery. You have just as much of a chance winning the lottery, winning the Powerball and getting $100 million next month as Conor McGregor does landing a punch out of nowhere and knocking Floyd Mayweather out. Even a faded, old, 2-year layoff Floyd Mayweather. So there's possible and then there's probable. The possible is that Conor goes in there and somehow lands a punch and Floyd's asleep, right? The probable, which is 99.9% of the time, Floyd Mayweather slaps him around, wins a 12-round decision, and all of you guys who are going to get duped once again, even though there are guys like me warning you not to buy this shit show, are going to bitch. And I'm going to have to see tweets for a month about how boxing is dead or fight sports are dead. I hate Floyd Mayweather. I hate Conor McGregor. They took me again for my money, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you now. And look, I was the guy a couple years ago who told the same guys, don't buy Mayweather-Pacquiao. It's a money grab. It's a shit show. It's at least 4 years past its due date. There are things going on behind the scenes with the promotion that are unethical and shouldn't be allowed. You still bought into it. You paid $100 for a complete shit show with a shit undercard, with shit going on behind the scenes, the gray area that shouldn't have happened. But that comfortable commission there in Nevada for Floyd, who he's on a first-name basis with, let it happen. And then you all bitched, and you're going to do it again. Meanwhile, I'm a boxing guy, and we're in the midst of a great 2017. We're only halfway through, not even halfway through this year, and we've already had massive events all over the world that have lived up to the hype. Hundreds of millions of people have tuned in to see a bunch of great fights. We've had venues sell out all over America, over in London, over in Tokyo, over in New Zealand. We've had great fights. Next month, we get to see Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward have a rematch. Joe Smith Jr. and Sullivan Barrera just signed to a fight July 15th here in Los Angeles. That is a great light heavyweight matchup and the biggest, most anticipated fight in boxing for years is done, signed, sealed, delivered. September 16th, Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin. And I'm looking forward to that one. Boxing diehards around the world are looking forward to that one. And let me tell you something. The egos involved here with this McGregor-Mayweather thing, particularly Mayweather, the egos involved see what's going on with boxing right now, this resurgence, this renaissance, and they're getting a little butthurt. And they want a piece of the action. And that's why I'm pissed off. Because certain people that see what's going on here, they want to kind of rain on that parade. They want to butt in. They want to, if they can, disrupt that big, great fight from happening just to spite some of the people behind the promotion for that big fight. That shit ain't cool. So I'm going to do everything in my power with the small little platform I have to tell you guys the truth about this bullshit. I got nothing to gain from telling you the truth. I got everything to lose. My press pass. So, look, I was the guy a year or 2 years ago who told you that Ronda Rousey winning the ESPY award for Best Fighter from ESPN was a complete joke. ESPN, or should I say MSNBC, because they're basically an offshoot of MSNBC, gave the Best Fighter in the World award. That's what their Best Fighter for the ESPY is. They gave that award to Ronda Rousey. And I made videos talking about how that's a joke, how it was all smoke and mirrors, it was political agendas being pushed by people who are a little more interested in pushing their underlying political ideology than actually promoting sport in a fair and balanced way. And I got so much shit for it from some of you. I got just crazy shit I had lawyers contacting me. I had threats, right? And then what happens? Ronda Rousey loses badly to Holly Holm. She decided to stand up and try to trade with a boxer. Gets knocked the fuck out. Then comes back and fights Emmanuel Nunes. Gets fucked up again. Now, all the mainstream sports media outlets, including ESPN, are freely saying Ronda Rousey was a hype job. Female MMA was never that good to begin with. Her reign was smoke and mirrors. All the shit that I got shit for saying when it wasn't safe, now that it's safe, you're all saying it. And you're all being silent. The same people that were criticizing me in their podcasts and their articles, now you guys are silent, right? I said the same thing about Mayweather-Pacquiao. And then when it was a shit show, silence. I'm telling you now, Mayweather-McGregor is a shit show. Do not spend your money on this bullshit. Now, if you're a Floyd fanboy and you want to see Floyd maul and grapple this dude and slap the shit out of him and spin him and move around for 12 rounds and win a decision, if that's your thing, if that's how you get off and that's what you enjoy, good for you, have fun. But for all of you who are going to buy into Floyd's trash talking and Conor's trash talking and buy into all the theatrics of it, don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say myself and others. I'm not the only one. There's plenty of people out there that are willing to go on record and say that this is all bullshit. Even though the people involved who stand to make millions of dollars don't want guys like me to say it's going to be bullshit. They want guys like me to promote it. There's a lot of boxing channels on YouTube and sites that are trying to promote this fight, right? Because it's clickbait. It makes them money for their YouTube page. It makes them money for their site. I want this shit on record now, before this shit show happens, what I said. So months from now, when I see a bunch of you tweeting how awful this fight was and how you got taken again and how boxing sucks and all this crap, my response will be this video. Don't tweet me on Twitter unless you want to see this video response, because that's what it's going to be. So there, I'm on the record. It's a shit show. That's it.